Okay, let's unpack this. You know that specific headache where you want professional grade audio in a room?
Right, like a conference setup or
Yeah, a conference setup, a classroom, maybe a home office. But you absolutely do not want the rack, you know what I mean? The receiver, the amp, the whole nest of cables.
oh yeah, it's the classic hardware logistics problem. You want the sound, but you don't want the friction or, well, the clutter.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we're looking at a solution that claims to bypass that entire mess. We've pulled the spec sheets, the manuals, and the market data from HDTV Supply on the Kramer Tavor 50B.
And those are the 5.25-inch on-wall powered speakers.
Yep, that's them. And the mission here is really to see if a self-contained system can actually replace a bulky external amplifier without, sacrificing the audio quality you'd expect from a separated setup.
Right.
So let's start with the architecture because the manual highlights this active versus passive configuration.
Uh,
To the uninitiated, that might sound like they sold you two completely different speakers.
in a way they did, but it's a really smart efficiency play. You get a pair, and the left speaker is active, meaning it houses the built-in amplifier, the controls, the power supply,
Doing the heavy lifting.
do all the heavy lifting,
Yeah.
and the right speaker is passive, meaning it's just a slave to the left one. You run a single cable from the left to the right, and you're done.
So you only need a power outlet near the left speaker.
Correct. It centralizes all the wiring complexity to just one spot on the wall.
Okay, but let's talk about what's actually moving the air here. We've got a 5.25-inch woofer. The specs say it's a polypropylene cone with a rubber edge. Why does the material actually matter?
It's mostly about durability and preventing distortion. Paper cones can warp or absorb moisture over time,
Mm.
especially in varied environments like a humid office. Polypropylene is rigid but light. It gives you a cleaner snap in the base without the flabbiness you might get from cheaper materials.
And for the highs, they paired that with a 0.5-inch Mylar dome tweeter.
Right, which handles the crispness all the way up to 20 kilohertz.
They also mention an enhanced bass reflex design. Is that just marketing speak for a hole in the box?
Basically, yes, but it is crucial for on-wall speakers. When you mount a box flush against a wall, you usually kill the bass response. A reflex design uses a tuned port to channel the air pressure from the back of the woofer out to the room.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it extends the low-end frequency response down to 45 hertz, which is honestly impressive for a cabinet this size.
Let's look at the power, because this is usually where all-in-one units kind of fall flat. The sheet lists stereo 2 by 30 watts RMS and a 2 by 80 watt continuous program amp.
Right, and we need to distinguish that from peak power. Peak is just a momentary burst before the speaker blows up. RMS is the continuous power it can handle all day long. 30 watts per channel is plenty for filling a standard conference room.
And what does that translate to in volume?
It translates to a maximum continuous sound pressure level, or SPL, of
105 decibels, right?
exactly 105 decibels,
Yeah.
which is louder than a lawnmower. If you crank these up in a 15 by 15 room, you aren't shouting over them, you're leaving the room.
Fair enough. Now, I want to look at the smart features, specifically the auto power. I feel like smart is an overused term, but in an install scenario, this seems actually useful.
It's essential for longevity. If you mount these in a boardroom, nobody's going to climb up on a chair to turn them off after a meeting. The system detects when the audio stops. After a period of silence, it cuts the amp and goes into standby, indicated by a little LED.
And the power draw drops.
Drastically. It drops down to 0.7 watts. Then the moment it detects a tiny voltage on the input, about 8 to 11 millivolts, it wakes up instantly.
Speaking of inputs, if the amp is built in, how flexible is the connection? Are we just stuck with a headphone jack?
You have the 3.5 millimeter mini jack for quick plug-ins, plus RCA connectors. It also includes physical knobs for volume, treble, and bass right on the unit. But for permanent installs, it has a terminal block for balanced stereo audio.
Explain that for us. Why go balanced?
Interference. If you're running a cable through a ceiling grid next to fluorescent lights or tower lines, a standard RCA cable acts like an antenna for buzzing noises. Balanced cables reject that noise. It's a pro-tier feature they kept in this unit.
Nice. And what about mounting practicality?
Standard U-shaped rotating brackets are included. But a key detail is the magnetic shielding. You can mount these right next to a monitor or a hard drive without the magnets inside the speaker wiping your data or distorting the screen.
Plus the automatic input voltage selector.
Right. It covers 90 to 240 volts AC automatically, which makes it ready for global use.
Let's talk market context and value. HDTV Supply has these listed currently at $240, discounted from $300 MSRP. There's also a 10% off code floating around. For under $250, are we looking at budget gear?
It's aggressive pricing, but the feedback suggests it's not cheap in terms of build. The overall rating is 4.7 out of 5 on their site.
And the reviews aren't just about sound, right?
No, verified buyers highlight things like easy checkout and generally describe the products as excellent. It seems the real value proposition isn't just good sound, it's no fuss. You buy it, hang it, and it works.
It seems like a solid middle ground. You lose the granular control of a separate receiver, but you gain a massive amount of floor space and simplicity.
Exactly. It simplifies the signal chain. Fewer components mean fewer points of failure.
So here's a thought to leave you with. These speakers are smart enough to know when we've stopped talking and go to sleep to save energy. It makes you wonder, if our walls are getting this responsive, what other always-on appliances in our homes are wildly overdue for an automated power down feature?
That is definitely a question for the engineers.